Land of the brave, wait your turn, it's all about patience. Playground pitch, straight to the stadium, all for the love of the game. My home, my city, the nation, land of the brave. This is for us, for them, for her, for every girl and loyal supporter. My hit, I go for I come read this one's for the books, from the pitch to the border. This is for us, for them, for her, for every girl and loyal supporter. James to assist for the slaughter, I shoot like war, cause I've been a top scorer.
This is it, Wales's opportunity to create history. No surprise then that the Red Wall has answered the call, a record-breaking crowd. 12,500 tickets sold for this winner-takes-all match. This squad is just 90 minutes away from their first ever World Cup playoffs. We're at the Cardiff City Stadium for Wales's final group qualifier. Slovenia, the visitors. And this table tells you all you need to know about the importance of this one. Wales are in the driving seat, a 2-point advantage over tonight's opponents. A draw, therefore, would be enough to get them to the playoffs next month. A win would be ideal. Defeat, well, heartbreaking. Good evening and welcome to a very wet Cardiff City Stadium. 9 games have been played and it all comes down to this. 90 minutes here at the home of Welsh football. The atmosphere, well, it was great a few moments ago before the heavens opened, but a record-breaking crowd we've got here this evening. The music is blasting, the Canton stand is also open, and what an opportunity tonight, Katie, for the girls to really create history.
Let's not underestimate how much of a huge game this is. This could be a real game changer for football in Wales. This is what dreams are made of. These girls would have never have thought they'd be in this position when they started playing football. A record-breaking crowd, 1 point away from playoff qualification. This is huge.
It's unbelievable, and I honestly don't think this rain is going to make a slight bit of difference to the excitement levels. Just spoke to 2 girls here, absolutely soaking wet. I think about 8 years old from Cogan Coronation Club. They are buzzing. They can't wait for it. They think it's going to be 3-2.
The big news this evening is that Jess Fishlock is on the bench. That's one question that our reporter Laura Kenyon has been asking the manager, Gemma Granger.
Well, Gemma, it's being described as the biggest game in Wales women's history. Players aside, do managers get nerves?
I'm sure managers do. You know, for me, nerves are never a bad thing. It's never not to be nervous. It's just to feel prepared. It's to make sure that we are ready to go to deliver the game plan, and that's the main feeling.
Talk us through the team selection. Tactical not to start Jess Fishlock, or is she still carrying that knock?
Yeah, we were hoping, you know, to get Jess to start the game, but still carrying the knock. So we have a plan for the game. You know, we adapted Friday, and the plan to do that again is this evening.
Record ticket sales, 100 caps for Angharad James, 50 for Rhiannon Roberts. But how important is it to play the game and not the occasion?
Yeah, it's the most important thing for us. We're going to play the game like it's game 10. We've been preparing for this, and that's what we're going to do.
Thank you, Gemma. Good luck.
Thank you, Dioc.
So the light show has started here at the Cardiff City Stadium. A bit of Zombie Nation as well. Just what we like before an all-important game like this. Let's pick up on what Gemma Granger said there. Is there possibility that maybe Wales could be playing for a point subconsciously today? Do they need to be careful?
I think it's nice that they've got that buffer, but every time that's been asked to anybody in a press conference this week, they've been very matter-of-fact in saying we are playing for the win. I do think it's a huge loss, Jess Fishlock being involved tonight. I had a look in the warm-up, I couldn't see her involved. So actually, Friday it was less of an issue, there was enough quality on the pitch, but a game of this magnitude, her leadership, her presence will be a huge miss. And if I was a Slovenian player, if I saw her not warming up, I would be bouncing for joy in that changing room, and we can't afford to give them any ammunition because they are dangerous, aren't they, Katie?
Slovenia, they're such a dangerous team. They're so tenacious, they're so physical. What they may lack in their technical and tactical ability, they make up for it with their tenaciousness, their physicalness. Wales are going to be in for the game for it tonight. It's not going to be easy. Yeah, the reverse encounter was a fiery one, no doubt about it. Kaylee Green getting a red card. But here we go then, a huge 90 minutes for Wales as they search for their first ever playoffs. Emma O'Heed going around this stadium. Yes, the rain is here, but it's not going to dampen the atmosphere this evening. Let's hand you over to our commentary team this evening, former Wales striker Gwennan Harris and Simon Davis.
Thank you, Catherine. Well, what a night we have in store. What a night for the more than 12,000 inside the Cardiff City Stadium. and for the many of you watching at home, hoping, I'm sure, to see history and a giant step for women's football in this country. The scenario is simple. We'll go through what Wales need to do in due course. But first, the Cardiff City crowd stands to applaud Anne Harrod-James, who reaches 100 caps for her country. And what a tremendous servant Gwennan Harris and Harrod-James has been.
She certainly has been, and let's not forget, she's only just really turned 28 years old as well. It just goes to show, you know, the talent that she has to come in at a young age and to have kept that then, you know, that standards, professionalism, to get 100 in those, and obviously celebrating the past landmarks that Helen Ward and Natasha Harding have both reached as well.
Yeah, huge congratulations as well to both Helen and Natasha, who received their honorary caps as well. Applause from Gemma Granger, but there's no room for sentiment this evening. A draw is good enough for Wales. A draw is good enough to reach the playoffs and potentially a place in the World Cup next year. Conditions could be better, but Wales fans will not care if Wales do in fact reach it to the playoffs. Here come the national anthems. It's got the feeling of one of those big nights under the lights at the Cardiff City Stadium that only Welsh football can provide. Well, once again, Jess Fishlock isn't deemed fit enough to start, so it is the same Wales team that beat Greece last Friday. Anne Harrod-James wins her 100th cap. Rhiannon Roberts wins her 50th. Carrie Jones, who scored the vital goal in Volos, turned 19 over the weekend and is showing with each game that she has the makings of a star. Well, underestimate Slovenia at your peril, a team that would have drawn with France had it not been for an injury time penalty. They even led in that game last September. Dominika Konk has 29 goals in 54 caps and plays for Sampdoria in Italy. Lara Krasnica of Eintracht Frankfurt has 24 in 51. Gary Jones' match-winning goal in Greece was her first senior goal for Wales. She's on loan at Leicester this season from Manchester United, her parent club. Rhiannon Roberts has made the right-back position her own for Wales. Tonight the Liverpool player reaches a half-century of caps. And tonight's officials are Ukrainian, led by referee Katynia Mozel. Wales captained, of course, by Sophie Ingle. How important will her experience be this evening? Plenty of quality players for Slovenia, including the 20 of the 21 goals, in fact, that they have scored in qualifying. Lara Krasnica has scored 8 of them. Well, it's a night of patriotism, a night of pride, but there must be no room for over-emotion. Gwen and Harris, Wales know what they need to do. A point would be enough to reach the playoffs.
It certainly would, but let's make no bones about it. This is a good Slovenia team. They're well organised, they're drilled, they're competitive, and technically they've got some very good attacking players as well. So I can't see Wales sitting too deep and playing for a draw. I expect Wales to take the game to Slovenia.
Well, we know that Wales will reach the first round. They will enter the playoffs at the first round should they get there, because of results this evening, namely the Republic of Ireland's win. But hold on to your bucket hats. A night of drama awaits us at the Cardiff City Stadium. How are your nerves, Gwen and Harris?
I was okay before the game, but yeah, not so great at the minute. My stomach's a bit like a washing machine, but hopefully the girls will settle into the game well. I think that's really important on occasion, you know, such a big...
Harry Jones immediately getting onto the ball and finding Green. The importance of getting out of the blocks in a quick way is so important. And if Wales can get an early goal, that could prove vital.
Yeah, and the importance of a good early touch as well. When you're nervous, and I certainly was as a player, you're just trying to focus on that first time you receive the ball. Just make sure you get hold of it, control it, you know, and the pass into the next player is a good one, just to settle the nerves.
Rachel Rowe, Green, first touch for Amhara James. Slovenia drew with Wales 1-1 earlier in this group. Did drop points against Greece. And of course they know, we shouldn't understate the importance of the night for Slovenia either. They know that a win will take them to the playoffs as Kaylee Green chases down Agres. And it's a first throw-in for Wales this evening.
Yeah, and I think this is a pattern we'll see quite often this evening, Simon, where Wales will look to play the balls into those channels, just try and turn the Slovenian, especially early on, just try and turn the Slovenian defence and try and win possession of the ball back high up the pitch.
First touch for Rhiannon Roberts of Liverpool, winning her 50th cap this evening. She hasn't got too many options in front of her. Let's go for Kerry Holland. Full touch from her. Ladd with the foot in, and it's Slovenia with Korosek. Good recovery from Kerry Holland.
Yeah, Krasnica already showing, you know, just how good she's. We know she's good in front of goal. 8 goals already in this campaign, but just the ability, you know, as a lone striker there to hold the ball up, bring other players into play. Something, you know, that Wales Kaylee Green will be looking to do at the other side of the pitch.
Urban's throw only reaching Ingle. So Wales know that they will enter the playoff stage should they get there in the first round. We always suspect that would be the case regardless of what was going to happen with the Republic of Ireland tonight, Gwenan.
Yeah, we did, and there's some top nations that are in those playoff positions, especially in the top 3 ranks. Talking about possibly the Netherlands, you know, finalists in the World Cup in 2019 could end up in the playoffs, and some teams that are playing in the UEFA Euros in the summer as well. So you know, if Wales get there, hopefully they will get there, they should get there into the playoffs, but it'll still be a difficult path to reach Australia and New Zealand.
Sullivan short to Evans, Ladd. Roberts up against Zver, the captain. Well, the rain has subsided. The conditions earlier, just prior to kick-off, absolutely horrendous, but to say that pitch looks magnificent as Green tries to find inroads down that Slovenian right. There's Rachel Rowe. Early cross. Harding on that back post and clearance from Ehrman. Harding wins it back. Roberts. Not a bad ball in towards Green. James. Well, Wales looking to get the balls in very, very early here. And here's another one from Rowe. Too close to the goalkeeper on that occasion.
You know, that play actually again came from, like I said, we'd be expecting Wales to play the channels. Kayleigh Green works those channels very well, plays in between the two centre-halves, runs off the back of them. And then, you know, it's just the support play, and then it's about the quality, you know, of the final delivery, something that's maybe been lacking, that was lacking on Friday night.
Good touch from Roberts. There's a decent ball to Jones, who is looking every bit the star, or the future star, of Welsh football with each game that she plays. We talked about her and this campaign perhaps being a breakthrough campaign for her, and she hasn't disappointed on that front.
It's been really pleasing just to see her have the opportunities to play, because we know that she's such a big talent. We've known that since she made her debut all those years ago against the Faroe Islands. And she's really flourishing. You know, she's gone on loan this season. It'll be exciting to see her development, playing for Leicester, opening game against Everton this weekend. Cheryl Foster actually, I think, is reffing that game as well. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, if she can play regularly, how far she really can come on this year.
Green the targets. Good ball to Jones. Well, the flag has stayed down. Harry Jones and Kayleigh Green could have wandered into an offside position. Free kick Slovenia, and the crowd aren't happy with that. Well, the Ukrainian referee was in no doubt there. And no arguments from Gemma Evans.
Oh, I thought that was a great tackle myself. I knew she was a little bit late, but we are in good hands with, I hope I'm not jinxing it by saying that, but we are in good hands with this referee this evening. She actually refereed the European Championship final over the summer, so very experienced.
Short to Kodasek. News ends clearance down to Colball. Handball.
What we've seen already, Simon, you know, two similar systems in terms of back fours, two maybe sitting midfielders, and then three attackers and a lone striker. But what Slovenia do when they defend it is drop into a drop back, so they've got more of a five in the midfield there.
Well, the referee did have a good look at that incident, whether it was a push on the back of Green. Slovenia trying to make progress with Zver. Roberts penalised this time.
It's a professional foul here. She knew exactly what she was doing. Rhiannon Roberts, and you know, credit to her, she didn't actually get maybe the attention that she should have had at the start of the game, winning her 50th cap. She's been an absolute stalwart in this Welsh team since she made her debut back in 2015 against Austria.
Well, this is where Wales need to be disciplined. A clean sheet would be enough tonight. As Zver drives it in, O'Sullivan rooted to a line as James clears it away. We come back in from Ehrman towards Prasnikar. Heavy cross.
Yeah, just a warning sign. You know, we know, as I said already, Prasnikar, 8 goals in qualification playing for Frankfurt, and there's a little bit of a worrying sign there in terms of she's unmarked, she's looking across, needs to be better communication, and Wales also just diving in outside of the box there. You know, putting players under pressure, but diving in. You need to be a little bit more disciplined when you go and press.
Hear the Wales fans already getting behind this, what we hope will be a history-making side. Rowe Jones. Harry Jones eventually getting the ball, but very messy at the moment. Wales not able to get hold of the ball. Holland on that occasion missing out. Urban. Well, France, I was about to say Slovenia gave France a real run for the money on 2 occasions, much like Wales did in fairness. But it was an indication that this is not a bad Slovenian side at all.
No, not at all. They are a very good side. I said that technically they're very organised, they're disciplined. You can see the way they're popping the ball around at the minute. Actually, they've settled by far the better team. They look like the home team at the minute, really comfortable, really confident in possession.
Spell for Krasnikar, away by Harding. The Wales just need to settle here, you feel, Gwenan. Whether it's down to nerves or a bit of tension.
Yeah, they do. For me, they just need to keep possession for a little bit, just get a feel of the game. Just settle the nerves at times.
A ball from Evans to Green. Easy one for Mersnick, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and they'll look to do that all night long, especially with the quality of the delivery from Gemma Evans. But good piece of play from Gemma Evans actually a couple of minutes ago, right up against Krasnikar, and won that physical battle. Just managed to get the ball away, and she was outstanding in the reverse fixture. Kept Krasnikar quiet, and not many teams have managed to do that in the group, not even France. Hopefully she'll do the same this evening.
Well, we've seen that under Gemma Granger since taking the job. Wales happy to mix things up, as adept on the floor as they are, in a more direct style as well. As Gemma Evans will shield this out of play. Defending from one of Wales' star performers during this campaign.
I'm really excited to see how her season goes with Reading as well. I thought she was one of the best players, the most consistent players in the league, playing centre-half last year. Did a really big season. And as you said, been one of the most important players for Wales in this campaign as well.
Rowe. Oh, it's a risky pass. And Ladd could be in trouble here. It's there. Takes a touch. Straight into O'Sullivan. Wales cannot afford to make those mistakes. And luckily, Laura O'Sullivan had a relatively simple save to make.
Yeah, and that's criminal there, because there's absolutely, Rachel Rowe is under absolutely zero pressure. It's the only problem sometimes playing Rachel Rowe as a left back. Wales lack balance, with her always wanting to come inside, use her right foot, and sometimes that can be very, easy to read then. But she offers so much going forward as well. She's tenacious in defence, but just needs to settle in. As I said, we've given possession of the ball away on far too many occasions already in this opening 11 minutes.
Well, it's Slovenia who were looking to attack that Welsh left again, and it's Rachel Rowe up against Colball. Good recovery. And Rachel Rowe, for all her qualities going forward, showing there that she has got qualities at the back too. But she'll want to limit those mistakes.
Yeah, I said how tenacious she was. She did well there. She stood her up. She was backing off, allowing it to come at her, and then picked her moment brilliantly and stood up well. The Wales need to make sure that they're concentrating fully here, because Slovenia are a threat at set pieces.
The corner from Rogan. She scored against Wales earlier in this group campaign. A bad delivery. Could be went over the head of Konasek, but Slovenia getting closer. O'Sullivan came out and committed herself. Wales just do enough to clear it away, and there is a tension inside the Cardiff City Stadium at the moment. And you have to say, Gwenan, full credit to Slovenia. They've had the better of the chances so far.
Yeah, they have, and as I said, they've looked like the home team. They've been popping the ball about, really confident. What's worrying me is the second phase of those set pieces there. Wales maybe win the initial, the first play, but then in terms of marking, they seem to be all over the shop. Just needs to be more organisation, and that second ball is coming back in.
Ingle. Well, we saw the serious faces of Jess Fishlock and Helen Ward a moment ago, and two of Wales's most experienced campaigners. And such a shame that the latter is not on the pitch in particular. Oh, but Jess Fishlock would love this occasion.
She is absolutely devastated not to be playing this evening. I think it's probably unlikely that she will play a part. Massive, monumental loss for Wales, and in terms of experience as well. You know, it's just steadying the ship when you're going through these tough periods in the game, because that will happen. You're not going to be on top for 90 minutes. You know, you're going to have moments of play where you're under pressure. She can't seem to relieve that pressure, and her experience will be a huge loss.
Well, it's a fantastic atmosphere in Cardiff tonight. Lots of families, lots of school children. And spirits not dampened by the rain, I'm happy to say. Evans. Touch from Ingle towards Jones. Free kick.
Oh, superb from Carrie Jones there. This is why she's so important, in my opinion, to Wales, because she's got no fear. You know, she gets on the half turn there. The first thought is can I take my player on? You know, Wales will need that going forward this evening.
Robert Page, the Wales men's manager, in attendance this evening. And of course, Wales have a World Cup in Qatar to look forward to. How nice it would be for the women to get to World Cup 2. Flick on towards Harding. Good touch. Goal kick, not a corner, but Natasha Harding almost rewarded for the fact that she kept going. And a very direct ball into the penalty area. Mersnick with a very good game against Wales in Lendava back in October. Loose kick towards her midfield. It was Sam Harrod-James who got there first. The advantages with Wales, remember, a point is enough. Only a draw is required. Slovenia and their coach Jak Borot know that they need to win.
It needs movement here, to be fair. Rhiannon Roberts looking around, nobody moving for her. No options.
Prasnikar. Handball. Wales want to take this quickly, they want to increase this tempo. It's been a relatively slow start for Gemma Granger's side.
Yeah, Wales need to take their time here, actually, because this is where they are a threat, as I mentioned on Friday night, with the aerial presence, the aerial threat. Gemma Evans, Rhiannon Roberts, Kaylee Green, we know she's good in the air as well. She needs good delivery now. Rachel Rowe usually spot on the money.
Rachel Rowe is going to go long with this one. Floated delivery towards Green. Good fall to Harding. And it's causing Slovenia a few problems, those deliveries. Harding works hard to keep the ball in play. She was fouled in doing so. And another free kick for Wales, and it may well be another Rowe delivery here.
She did well there, actually. Just won the battle, and quite clever. You see here, she knows that that contact's going to come, and she just makes the most of it. Then obviously going down, knowing it's in a good area, and she's going to win the free kick. Clever play.
Natasha Harding showing her experience there, although Zver, the Slovenian captain, somewhat naive to give away that free kick, and it's in Harrod-James to take this free kick. And the crowd expects, will they see a goal? That would really lift this place. James has got options. Harding there, the nearest player in shot. James Well, it was too close to the goalkeeper Mersnick in the end. Just needed a little bit more whip.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too flat for me there, and too straight. The goalkeeper actually did very well. Mersnick coming off the line, we knew that actually from the away game. She was good in the air, but interesting to see the high line actually that Slovenia playing there.
Jones chasing it out of play. To Rogan. Through the middle goes Colball. Players waiting in the middle. Rachel Rowe getting distance on the clearance. And unluckily for Slovenia, Ehrman with a heavy touch.
Yeah, just good positioning there from Hayley Ladd, I'd say. The distance between herself and Rachel Rowe was good. She was able to cover across. If Rachel Rowe didn't win the battle, Gemma Evans pulled out of position by the movement of Krasnikar, and Ladd's covering well.
Agres, the Golob. Well, all the anthems are coming out tonight. And fantastic atmosphere inside the Cardiff City Stadium. Try and inspire these Wales women to get to the playoffs. Green closing down on Agres, and the goalkeeper Mersnick. Well, it was almost horizontal. Very, very laid back with the clearance. And Wales looking to pick up the pace.
I think Wales just at times they just need to keep their width, because as when Sophie Ingle picked the ball up in centre midfield, Carrie Jones is just, she wants to get involved, but she needs to be a little bit more disciplined. Just keep her width, just to offer Wales a little bit more, expand the pitch, make it harder for Slovenia.
Roberts. Well, Slovenia want to take it quickly. And it's all too simple through the middle for Konasek. Colball trying to get round Rowe. Did very well, Rachel Rowe. Well, it had to be timed to perfection, and the counter-attack is on. A rink work out for Green, but Rachel Rowe, a terrific clean tackle and raced the ball forward. I think Kelly Green was asking for a free kick there, Gwenan.
I think Rachel Rowe made a terrific run, and we know she brings that to us. But I think she was looking for the ball to her feet originally, and then the ball was played in behind, so she was trying to spin, and just good experience defending. Never going to win the free kick there.
Colball has been dangerous so far. Prasnica to her right. Easy one for O'Sullivan to deal with.
And for me, Wales are just overplaying. That's the third time now across the back line. There's been a really poor pass that's been easily intercepted. If you're unsure, if you're nervy, and Wales are still 20 minutes in looking a little bit nervy, just need to turn the defence around, the other team around. The last place you want to lose possession of the ball is on the last line of defence.
Ladd drives it forward. It's a good ball for Jones. Just bounced over her. Wales look to utilise that crossfield pass. Jones does well to win it back. Back to Mersnick. Holland on her like a shot. And Wales really still looking for the first real attempt on goal. It could come here through Green, and I think Harding felt that she may have been in an offside position, so didn't commit herself. But Wales have not tested Mersnick enough, what with 22 minutes on the clock.
No, I mean, Laura O'Sullivan has only had that one attempt to save as well. But Slovenia have, as I said, looked the better, the more composed team, more threatening as well, you know, in and around, just no final or end product by either team.
Ball back to Laura O'Sullivan. Well, one of the great modern players in Welsh football history, Jo Allen, actually went to the same school as Angharad James. Pascal Pacelli.
Oh, Welsh legend for me. I'm a massive, massive fan.
Currently back at Swansea City these days, but no doubt will play a huge part for Wales in Qatar. And the touch from Holland almost turned out well for Kayleigh Green. It's been a quick tempo about Slovenia at the moment. And here they go down with Erman. Wales free kick.
Movement from the Slovenian players actually very good. You know, you can tell that they're very well drilled, well organised. They all know the roles and responsibilities within this 4-2-3-1 system when they're attacking. And we've seen the left back Erman making a good run. You know, when Sver picked the ball up, because she knew exactly what the play was going to be. Wales just need to make sure that they're checking their shoulders because players are running off the back of them.
Brilliant skill from Korosek, who continues her run. This is an amazing run from Korosek, who's still going. Sver tried to find that far corner. It was a deflected effort. Has reached Colbull, skips round Rowe. In the middle it goes, and long try from Erman, perhaps. Terrific stuff from Holland. And how can Wales respond? Green, Ingle, Carrie Jones. We know she's got skill. We know she can take on players. Carrie Jones! That's what you want to see from this ever-improving youngster. And Wales have had their first real chance in this game. Prasnikar could tackle Roberts, and that has got the crowd going.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see. Wales are better in those situations, if I'm honest, where they're playing on the counter-attack, using the pace of Kerry Holland, Carrie Jones, and you 100% want to be seeing Carrie Jones facing up and taking a player on. You know, good quick feet, good movement. Just needs to be using the pace of the surface for me, trying to keep her on the floor, make it harder for Mersnick in the Slovenian goal.
Well done. Roberts again with the important tackle. Remember the throw. It's a slippery surface here at the Cardiff City Stadium, and as you can see there, Slovenia not able to keep their feet. But what can we say about Carrie Jones, who turned 19 over the weekend?
It's better though, quick play by Wales. You know, Sophie Ingle first time pass. You know, she's got the technical ability to do that, and this is where we want to see Carrie Jones. One-on-one, running at defenders, dropping the shoulder. You know, one thing I would say there, I think the Welsh players have actually made the run. Tash Harding made the run across the front post a little bit too early. So to hold the run there, and obviously they can get across it. If there's a spill, then just following in from the goalkeeper. But Wales need to be doing more of that, getting their wide players in one-on-one situations.
It's been a great few days for Carrie Jones. James out-jumped. Here's Ladd. There's not too many options on for Hayley Ladd here, and I think she's calling for players to move into space.
Yeah, and you know, Hayley Ladd picking up the ball there, and Tash Harding is standing in a straight line there. She's your right winger. Whereas as soon as it goes over the other side, she's actually gone out wide then. Baffling decision for me, just needs to hold her width.
Here goes Slovenia again with Colbull. Excellent tackle from Ladd. Here's Sver, the captain. Prasnikar in front of her. Could go it alone. 1-2 with Prasnikar. Sver with a shot! Well, O'Sullivan had it covered, I think, but still, Slovenia are getting closer. It was a terrific attacking move from the visitors.
Yeah, and these are the two real threats for Slovenia, Prasnikar and Sver. You know, and it's too easy for me. You know, there's four Welsh bodies around there. Somebody, Hayley Ladd's actually come out of position, to be fair, to try and close down.
Well, Slovenia know And Slovenia know that they have to win here to stand any chance. Well, it's fallen for Holland. Goes back to Mesnek, who makes no mistake. Well, Holland almost created her own chance there out of nothing.
Yeah, I think she was a bit unsure, wasn't she, of where the ball was. Won the first phase, first ball. Just see it coming in there. She wins that one, then she's a little bit unsure. Just get the flight of it. Just needed to direct that in straight in front of it. She's been busy. She's been lively. Kerry Holland always works hard. We know that, especially in intensity.
Well, let's speak to Nia Jones, one of our studio guests. And Nia, well, it's been a tense first half so far.
Yeah, if I wasn't tense before kick-off, Simon, I definitely am now. I think Slovenia have definitely edged it. They've had the majority of possession. Zver in the midfield and Prasnikar up front look really sharp, really dangerous for Slovenia. But that Carrie Jones chance is exactly what we want to see more of. Get Sophie Ingle on the ball, her vision, her first-time sweep into those wide areas is how Wales are going to get into this game. In transition, I think Wales have the best chance of scoring, and they need to score first, I think.
Thanks, Nia. I agree with you. I think there's a little drama ahead, I'm sure, but a goal would just settle the nerves for Wales more than anything. This 0-0 would be enough, but a goal would change everything. Jones, first time cross. It's back to Jones. Harding went for the header. Could fall to Ingle. And Zver with a clearance away. It is tense. There's a lot of anxiety around the Cardiff City Stadium at the moment. A goal would settle everything. Holland. Green in a wide position this time, in towards Ingle! Well, it was a late run from Green's cross. And almost round the bottom corner.
Well, when Wales are brave and play quickly, like we've just seen there, wanting to get on the ball, playing 1-2 touch, they look so much more threatening. Good ball across, great run in by Sophie, who's timed it well, but she just didn't get the contact that she would have wanted there. And someone of her technical ability will be bitterly disappointed, because we've seen how quickly the ball has jumped off the surface, because it's so slippery. It's just difficult for Mesnek, but we need to see Wales being braver in these positions.
What a run this is from Rowe. Just was behind Tash Harding there. Well, it's end-to-end stuff at the moment. The last 5 or 10 minutes we've seen chances at both ends. And that first breakthrough will be key.
What I think is good, Simon, is that Wales just seem to have settled. They had a really, I'd say, rough opening 20 minutes. Just couldn't get hold of the ball. Slovenia way on top.
Here's Jones. He's got the option of Harding. Patch could have got it alone. But Wales are looking much more slick in attack at the moment. And here they go again. Roberts. Jones was coming in far post. And this is much better from Wales, but Slovenia off again with Colville to Prasnikar. Evans watching closely. Rowe there too. You cannot keep your eyes off this game. So much at stake. Prasnikar, decent delivery. Hayley Ladd did very well to position her body. Colville, high and wide. But this is an occasion where two teams are really giving it their all.
Really end-to-end stuff there. So from Wales, you're trying to maintain the pressure that they were putting Slovenia under. They broke. And Wales just, for me, dived in on two occasions against Prasnikar. The Gemma Evans originally, and then Rachel Rowe, and that's what allowed the cross to come in. But they will be happy if Slovenia are taking pot shots from the edge of the box on occasions. However, need to deal with that first ball, that first phase. It's a little bit better, as I said, just that discipline when you're closing down. The experience of not diving in, especially against a player like Prasnikar, who we've seen there has got great feet, great technical ability.
Well, the crowd are doing their bit. And how nice it is to see so many young school children, young girls watching their heroes. And with Kelly Green down here, it does actually present Gemma Granger with the opportunity to give her players a bit of a pep talk here. It has been a tense half an hour. No goals, but you could just feel the tension. We could feel it up here.
I think she'd be happy with the way Wales have got themselves back into the game now in the last 10 minutes. Until obviously I know the scoreline's still goalless, but in terms of the momentum of the game, momentum swings, as I said, it shifts, and Wales seem to have got themselves back into it, grown a little bit of belief, with those half opportunities. But just again, that quality, that decision making, the weight of the pass in the final third, when you do get the opportunity at international level, you have to be ruthless, and that's why there is a difference between your Germanys and your Englands and your Spains to these two teams at the moment. Wales are certainly developing and going in the right direction.
Well, Wales temporarily down to 10 here as they wait for Katie Green to come back on. Who received treatment. Just waiting for the indication from the Ukrainian referee, and in comes Katie Green back into play. There is no way that she's going to come off in a hurry unless she's dragged off that pitch, Katie Green.
No, you've got it spot on there. She's so hard working, a real tough cookie. She certainly won't want to miss any of this occasion more than she'd have to.
Golov with a long ball towards Erman. Krasnikar of Eintracht Frankfurt. Well, there was a foul against Hayley Ladd. I thought that she'd won the ball cleanly there. And in its position, it's slightly dangerous this for Wales. Okay, it was a...
she's just a little bit late, but in a pleasing concept. A couple of times Krasnikar has picked the ball up. Wales have defended really well from both sides, so obviously the defender has been trying to make it as hard as possibly backing up against them. But then Wales have defended from the other side, from the front, better as well, trying to double up, make it harder for Krasnikar.
Agres to take this free kick for Slovenia. Indicates where she's going to put this, and it's not a bad delivery, it's flicked on. Well, defensively, Wales have been up to the task. And that has been the story of the campaign with the likes of Hayley Ladd and Gemma Evans in Group I.
Yeah, touch wood. They've been very good, very composed. And as I've mentioned before, I think the partnership developing between those two is very, very good. There's a really good balance. Both comfortable, adept at opening up from the back.
Roberts gave it away. Here is Korosek. Roberts again worked so hard on this near side, and that was appreciated by Gemma Granger. And the question is, who will be the happier of the two managers at this stage? Gemma Granger satisfied in some regard, but she will know that this game is on a knife edge.
The right decision then actually by Hayley Ladd. She was under so much pressure. Poor pass back to Harry James, and just sometimes when you're under pressure like that, just relieve the pressure. There's no point taking chances, especially in a game of such high importance. But going back to what you said, I think obviously in terms of the scoreline, Gemma Granger, but in terms of the way that Slovenia have started the game, they look confident, always wanting the ball. See Rogan, she's been lively.
Ingle. Cleared away by Ladd. Green on the shoulder of Agres. Well, that's a foul according to the referee. Slovenia in a real hurry to take these set pieces. They want to get that ball at the other end of the park very quickly. Erman. Off Roberts. Corner.
Sophie Ingles absolutely livid there. Felt that wasn't a foul by Kaylee Green, but you've got to play to the whistle. As I said, experienced referee the champions, the UEFA final at Wembley over the summer.
It's a short one to Zver. Krasnikar. Well, I think she was in two minds about putting the ball closer towards that penalty area and finding the back post.
Yeah, she'll be disappointed there. I think she'd be looking to try and get it towards that back post and that corridor of uncertainty, so to say. But too easy again for Wales.
Well, Northern Ireland 3-1 winners at Latvia. And the latest score in Wales's group, France, who've already qualified for the World Cup, 2-1 winners against Greece. The scores elsewhere, from a Welsh point of view, I'd say irrelevant, but Wales know what they have to do. Their playoff hopes are in their own hands. A point is all that's needed. They could get a goal. As Roberts put it into Jones! Took it first time. And once again, Carrie Jones from that Welsh left is causing a real problem for the Slovenian defence.
Yeah, and once again the delivery from Rhiannon Roberts as well, spot on. Carrie Jones comes through. She actually does the right thing here by trying to get it down into the ground. She leans over it. For me, she should be aiming. I think she is. I think she's looking for that far post there, so just the accuracy isn't quite right. But Kaylee Green, actually good forward play there, following in. Just couldn't get on the end of it.
And I have to say, a rare show of emotion from Gemma Granger on the sidelines there. We're used to seeing her so composed, so in charge of her own emotions, but even on a night like this, that proves difficult. And that was mightily close. Irma's given it away. Green has options, Jones among them. Can she spot Rowe's run? Rachel Rowe just in front of her. Good play from Golov. Carrie Jones trying her best to win back possession, does so. Great tackle, great commitment to the cause from the 19-year-old. Well, 5 minutes left of the 45. How are you feeling, Gwenna?
I'm still very nervous. I don't know if you can tell. I feel like I've done 1,000 steps here on the spot. Now, I'm just pleased to see Wales have grown back into the game, because I was a little bit worried that first 20 minutes they just couldn't string 2 or 3 passes together. They looked quite disjointed at times. But they've grown into the game. Especially, as said, someone so lively as Carrie Jones, who's had a very good opening 40 minutes.
And Wales have a free kick here, which Rachel Rowe will take. The players camped outside the penalty area here. And it comes from Rowe. Evans the target. Slovenia did well to get it away, and that has gone out for a corner. Well, it's another set piece for Wales.
What's interesting for me, and just goes to show the mentality, because obviously Slovenia have to get a win here, is that they're leaving 2 players that they're 2 most potent attacking threats, Sver and Prasnica. Any free kick or corner, they're leaving them high up. Both of them are stood on the halfway line. That makes Wales then, obviously, have to bring more players back. They can't afford to stay, push as many players as they normally do. So they have to be a little bit more defensive minded.
Cash Harding, this who's gone across to take this, and Harry James may go for the short one. See Kelly Green backing into the goalkeeper here. Short delivery from James, well worked. Free kick to Slovenia. I think Carrie Jones penalised there, but it was a well-worked free kick.
That was well worked, a really inventive idea. I think there was a push on the edge of the box, and that's why the free kick was given. Just again, that quality in the final third. It is difficult when the ball is coming up, and it's coming up quickly as well.
Oh, well-worked corner kick, I meant to say, as James
just
picked it up short. And
yeah, Ingle was the one that gave the foul away, just a little bit. Just trying to block the run more than anything.
Özan. It's Jones. Evans. Giving the ball away. Özan. It's a loose pass for James to pick up, and Gwennan Harris is next to me, her eyes transfixed on this game, and you can't blame her. Offside against Green. Well, as we approach the 45 minutes, it's just that final bit for Wales, much like we said in the Greece game, and perhaps has let Wales down. Flicked on by Harding. Kodasek. Need to be disciplined now, Wales. Just see the half out. Harding spots the run of Holland. Good interception that from Agres. And Slovenia, to their credit, that's a lovely pass to Prasnikar, offside. Well, it could have been tight, but it was a lovely ball.
It was half a yard. I shouted straight away. She was off, but she's so tricky, Prasnikar, because she's playing in between. Just see, look, her position in there. She's playing in between the two centre halves, and that's where the communication and the distance between them has to be spot on. And she just couldn't quite time the run, luckily from a Welsh perspective. But again, just a moment of threat from Prasnikar.
A goal now would be ideal for Wales, with a minute of added time in this first half. Ball to Holland. Free kick given to Slovenia. It was Carrie Jones who gave it away. What have you made of this first half, Gwennan?
Well, like we expected, it was going to be cagey. As I said, Slovenia settled much the better the sides. Wales have grown into the game. Just both teams lacking that quality in the final third.
The green's on her way, and the flag has stayed down. Is there one last chance in this first half? Carrie Jones. The time is running out. Wales will need to get that ball in the penalty area before half-time, and Rose cross at the end. The referee has glanced at a watch, incidentally, and that is the half-time whistle. Well, Wales have grown into this game. Gemma Granger, though, knows that there's a lot of football still to come here. Carrie Jones has been the bright spark for Wales once again. Had that shot on goal. Ingle coming close as well. But there is still a tension here at the Cardiff City Stadium, an anxiety. But as things stand, Gwennan, 0-0 would be enough.
It would. 1 point would be enough to secure that playoff place for Wales. However, it's a very dangerous scoreline to try and stay and keep the game on.
It's half-time at the Cardiff City Stadium, and it's Wales 0, Slovenia 0. It's got the feeling of one of those big nights. It's a risky pass. Sver takes attacks straight into Sullivan. We know she's got skill. We know she can take on players. Carrie Jones. 1-2 with Prasnikar. Sver with a shot. As Roberts split into Jones.
Oh, Gemma Granger's face there telling us all we need to know. If we were nervous before kick-off, well, we're still nervous now, aren't we? What a first half, this crowd here. End-to-end stuff. How are we feeling, Katie? End-to-end stuff, as I mentioned, but those nerves, they haven't settled, have they really, Wales?
No, it was a really nervy first 20 minutes. It took Wales time to grow into the game. You could see we weren't finding any rhythm or flow with our passing. But when we did grow into the game, when we keep our width, that's when we're going to open up opportunities. Getting Carrie Jones into the game, that's when we look more likely to get a goal.
Quite a bit of entertainment for the crowd, though. We haven't been able to get our eyes off the game.
No, I know, full of drama, and it's great because both teams need a result. Both teams really want to score goals, and I think that benefits Wales a little bit because when the game is open, there's bigger gaps for them as opposed to when they've played sides who play a lower block and they have to unlock that. But actually, it's been so end-to-end. There's been chances for both sides, and actually, I think Slovenia have had the better of them.
Well, we'll get to Slovenia's chances very soon, but let's start with Wales then. It took a while for them to settle out there, about 15 minutes actually, but then the chances did start to come.
Yeah, they did. They were struggling to string some passes together, like when I said in commentary. But Kerry Holland she's been the one that's actually tried to take the game by the scruff of the neck. Great vision from Sophie Ingle there. We need her on the ball more, and she knows in 1v1s. Look at the girls in the box here. They're committing bodies forward. I actually think she makes the right decision here. Little jink, drop of the shoulder, and it's Wales's first shot on target. That actually set them on their way for the rest of this half. Holland again involved. Quick 1-2 with Angharad James. She's another one we need on the ball more. Again, from wide areas is where we're going to have most of our joy. One player you want coming onto that is Sophie Ingle, but just doesn't quite connect. Again, from wide areas, a good deep ball from Rhiannon Roberts on a 50th cap. Doesn't quite connect with it, but that's much better from Wales. When they move the ball quicker and deliver from wide areas, we look more dangerous.
Yeah, they've grown into the first half, haven't they, Katie?
Yeah, they definitely have. We knew they were going to start off nervous, but Wales need to be brave on the ball. We look predictable when we just go more direct into Kaylee up front, but when we play in between the half spaces, we make Slovenia step out and create those spaces. That's where opportunities are going to come.
Carrie Jones, 19, only 19 she turned over the weekend. We were wondering how she'd settle in once again after a very good display on Friday night, and once again, Katie, she seems to be very dangerous.
She is. We know what to expect with Carrie. We know when she picks the ball up, something can happen. She draws in the fouls there just from that simple play, opening up her body and driving inside. But it's not only what she does on the ball, it's how she works and wins the ball back. She's so tenacious.
Do you know what, that little turn, the first clip there that Katie spoke through, that is class. To receive the ball under pressure from two international players with much more experience than you in your own half, use the outside of your foot to turn and draw the foul, just shows how fearless she is and how suited she is for this level of football.
And she's happy to receive the ball right foot, left foot, and she just has great awareness of what's going on around her. She almost has like no fear factor.
Yeah, she's playing beyond her years, no doubt about it. Right then, let's have a little look at those Slovenia chances then. Yeah, quite a few of them as well, and lucky. Wales have been lucky actually. Laura O'Sullivan has had to make a few saves.
Yeah, she has, and this one actually she stands up really well because it was a long range effort that we conceded from in the reverse fixture, but you can see here Zver, she's looked dangerous all game, shifts it to her right foot, but O'Sullivan deals with it well here. Deliveries again have looked dangerous. Wales just nervy, they're a bit slow to get out here again, and they're facing another wave of attack. First 20 minutes I think Slovenia were dominant, and actually Wales did well to see through that period without conceding. Krasnikar is another one. She scored 8 goals in 9 games so far in this qualifying campaign. Plays domestically for Frankfurt in Germany, so we know she's got quality. She is their danger woman up front, and she's one that they cannot leave alone. I will say though, Hayley Ladd at the back has dealt with her very well so far, but everybody needs to keep an eye on her.
Well, at the moment, Wales are still in the driving seat. They just need a point. So this crowd, well, they're happy, but the nerves, we've already mentioned them. They're still there, but Wales are in the driving seat for that playoff. A massive 45 minutes ahead. Right then, let's go and join Laura, our reporter this evening. She's got some company.
Yeah, 2 for the price of 1 here, Cats. 2 Wales players working their way back from injury. Hannah Kane, Esther Morgan. I think your dancing must be part of your rehab. There are some moves that I've just seen there, Hannah.
Get exposed by it.
We'll start with the football on the pitch, Hannah.
Yeah.
What did you make of that first half?
Really competitive. Obviously, we know that it's going to be a massive game, very competitive. But we've had our chances. They've had a few, we've had a few. I think ours have been more clear-cut. It only takes that one chance, and I think the girls will come out next half and get it.
And this is a group of players, isn't it, who expect to be competitive, not only at qualifying, but also ultimately at a major tournament. Esther, what's that level of expectation like?
I think we put it more on ourselves than what we get from exterior pressures, but I think we know that we're capable of going to a major tournament and competing with like some of the bigger teams and stuff like that. I think we've proved that against oppositions like France and stuff, so I think we really want to get there and show kind of what we're about.
What would it mean to you personally to make it to a World Cup?
Something you dream about as a kid. Like, you grow up watching these tournaments, and to be able doing it with your country and such an amazing group of players is what you dream of growing up, so it's what you want.
And Hannah, I mean, let's look ahead to the second half. What do Wales need to do to get that crucial point?
I think, like I said before, we've had our chances. It only takes the one. I think we just need to put one away. Be a bit more composed in front of goal. Obviously, it's a massive occasion. So many fans here tonight. We just need to take the pressure on board and just be clinical. And it'll come, I think, yeah.
It's a really special night for one player in particular, Angharad James, 100 caps, the youngest player ever to do so for Wales. How special an achievement is that?
Unbelievable. I think it's one of the best ones she'll ever have in her life. We had a little get together earlier and she got presented with a few things from the girls, and it's just really an emotional moment, to be honest. And again, to do it in front of a record-breaking crowd like this on such a special occasion in itself, to then add that personal achievement as well, is just unbelievable. We're all super proud of her.
Esther, you've worked closely with Angharad at club level at Spurs as well. What's she like?
Oh, she's just an amazing person, like on and off the pitch. She's just a joy to be around, and especially like as a younger player, she's someone that you look up to, and yeah, just someone that you want to be around non-stop.
Well, thank you so much both for your time. And talking of Angharad James, 11 years on, 100 caps. It's been quite the journey for Wales's newest centurion.
I got into football through probably my dad. He's a rugby man, so it was a rugby ball to begin with, and the football crept in slowly. And that was probably my first memory, just playing, you know, down the park with him. When I look back at my younger days, I didn't really know of many female footballers at the time. The one player was probably Jane Ludlow. When I first went to Arsenal, she was the centre midfielder, and she was someone that I looked up to. But then as I first got into the seniors, players like Lauren Dykes and Gwennon Harris were very important in my early stages here. They made me feel very comfortable, made me feel valued and part of the squad at such a young age, and I don't forget that. I don't forget how that made me feel, and hopefully I now do that to the younger generation who are coming through now here, because I know how important it was to me to feel valued and, you know, appreciated in this environment.
James may look to get the shot in. James' shot, and that's the equaliser.
I have my close friends, Jess, Sophie, Rachel Rowe, Tash, you know, like I have a good group of people here who we've been together for the past 10 plus years, and it's been special to be on the journey with them, you know, to see how everything has changed through the FAW, how the backing has changed.
Play to Ingle. James has continued her run. Here is James. She's offside, and that is the opening goal.
Remember when I first came in, there was a few hundred people watching, if that, and the majority were our family and friends. So being part of that change is so special. To play 100 times for your country is an incredible achievement, but I wouldn't have been able to achieve it without my family, without my school teachers, without my coaches who helped me in my early stages. You know, it's a moment where I reflect and I go, you know what, I might be achieving something big, but I would not have been able to do it without the support that I've had, without my teammates. And yeah, it's going to be a proud moment, and I hope I don't get upset. I hope I just enjoy the moment as it comes, and hopefully it'll be, you know, a great moment for us as a country, because we've achieved what we wanted to achieve.
Oh, Angharad James, what an inspiration she is for some of the young fans here this evening. I bet 100 caps, the youngest centurion we have here in Wales. So we have a very proud father joining us now, Clive James. I'm not going to make you cry, but is that how you're known now, Clive, father of Angharad James?
Well, unfortunately, yes. You know, it's no, seriously, we're so proud of her family. She's done great the way she's got, and hopefully there's a lot more to come, you know.
Yeah, but she could have been a cricketer, a rugby player. She was so sporty from a young age.
Well, rugby was her first love. Well, it was her father's love, really, and she just came down on a Sunday morning, and as a 6-year-old, and the next thing I was talking to someone, turned round, and she was playing. She was in the middle of them, of the under-8, so, and that's where his sporting, you know, life started, you know. And then at 11 she had to stop playing. At 12, and football took over.
I think Nia is going to ask you a question. Can you hear? Nia, go on, shout.
You know, it's incredible achievement from cap number 1 to 100, and she actually credited you in her VT as the first person actually. What noticeable difference have you spotted in her from cap 1 to 100? We think she's transformed her game from a holding midfielder to a proper box-to-box midfielder now, but what have you spotted?
Well, I think so. I thought she was just, at one time, thought she was just a holding midfielder. But I think she's proved to everyone that there's a bit more to her. Yeah. You know, she's. I just wish she'd scored a few more goals, really. And we'd all be happier, wouldn't we?
You don't want much, do you?
No,
100 caps, but she could still score a few more.
Yeah, no, that's basically what is missing from her game. If she scored a few more goals, I'm sure she would.
Being critical.
Oh, yeah, always the way. What about the game this evening? It's very nervy for everybody in the stadium.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Very nervous, because I know that if the result doesn't go our way, they will not be happy chappy, and it doesn't matter how many caps she has. That basically will be the, you know, we mustn't think like that, but it'll spoil the night if we don't. Well,
hopefully we're going to have cause for celebration, but congratulations, a proud father. Thank you for joining us, Clive. Well, let's go and join Gwenan Harris up in commentary and get a comment. The big question, Gwenan, how can Wales unlock that Slovenia defence now?
Do you know, when they beat Brave and wanted the ball, got on the ball in possession, you know, and they've played quickly, 1-2 touch, we've actually opened up the Slovenian defence quite easily. We've had a couple of half chances. It's just that composure then in the final third for me.
And Gwenan, what do you think the message will be from Gemma Granger? A massive 45 minutes ahead of them now.
Yeah, 100%. Just have that belief, but also play in the right areas as well. You know, be brave to get on possession and play our way. But none of this playing around the back and losing possession easily like we saw in the first half.
Katie, options on the bench for Wales? We don't think we're going to see Jess Fishlock, do we?
Unfortunately not. You know, she would add such a bigger dynamic to this game, but, you know, 45 minutes, we just haven't got to lose the game. That's it.
We just don't have to lose the game. We are in the driving seat at the moment. A huge 45 minutes ahead. Back we go to Gwenan and Simon.
Thank you, Catherine. A point needed, that is all. A draw needed, that is all, to reach the playoffs. And we know from results earlier this evening that Wales, if they are to get to the playoffs, will enter the first round stage and not the second. So we'll potentially have 2 games to reach the World Cup. No changes at half-time, by the way. But a goal would be most welcome for Wales. Just creating more chances, I think, would be most welcome in this second half, Gwenan.
Yeah, well, I mean, we obviously in that first half of the first half, you know, we didn't look like creating anything, but then we did happen to create a couple of chances. Just again, as I said, that composure, being ruthless in front of goal.
There you can see Group I. Wales will finish second with a point. Out of all the second round teams who will contest the playoffs, there will be 3 teams left at the end of it all. 2 will qualify as the best ranked teams, and there is, believe it or not, another mini tournament for the worst of those 3 teams, but we don't even have to think about that just yet.
No, this first 45 minutes to reach those playoffs in the first place, and then as is the cliche, take 1 game at a time. I think we need to do that as well in terms of our prep for those playoff rounds as well.
Absolutely. Mightily confusing. But Wales have a free kick here. Rachel Rowe, as she did in the first half, drives it into that penalty area. I thought Leah Jones made a very good point during half-time. You want to see Sophie Ingle on the ball a lot more, get the ball to her, play the ball through her. Colville for Slovenia saw a lot of the ball in that first half as she wins a throw here. I'd like to see Sophie Ingle more on the ball, perhaps. Erzen, good play, and a good block from Rachel Rowe. Free kick.
Yeah, you talk about getting Sophie Ingle on the ball, 100%, and that's what I'm trying to talk about in terms of being brave. I want to see the Wales players wanting the ball, because at times, that's why I said we've lost possession of the ball across the back line, because there hasn't been many options in front of them. you want to see the likes of Rachel Rowe being given the licence to, you know, get on the ball in attacking areas. However, as well, just being aware there's a right time to go because of the situation that Wales are in and don't want to leave themselves exposed.
Hayley Green receiving the ball from Carrie Jones. Picking up those balls in wide positions, but leaves Harding isolated in the middle. If Wales can get the ball to her. Ingle. Punching tackle on Jones from Gulob. Ingle to take the throw. Fudge is going to lead this to Rachel Rowe. Rachel Rowe's energy to run up and down that left flank never ceases to amaze. So effective in both defence and attack. It's not a bad throw either. Green on the turn. Could set up James on her wrong side. James again. Well, the script was almost written there on her 100th cap.
I think her eyes might have lit up twice then. Good play, good hold up, centre forward play by Kaylee Green. Has a good layoff as well. She just doesn't connect with it properly. She needs to come through, use her laces actually on Hannah James.
Prasnikar. Gemma Evans stood her ground, did ever so well. Rowe, Jones, up to Green. We'll go on with the rash tackle, which goes unpunished. Slovenia with Prasnikar. Crossfield pass is a good one to Zver. Up against Rhiannon Roberts. Zver came close in the first half. It was denied by Wales on this occasion. Green.
That's good play by Green. That's twice now where she's actually received the ball. She's been so isolated. She's done well to just, you know, buy time, keep possession and bring Wales back into the game.
Rowe spotted the run of Kaylee Green, who's onside. The support of Jones. Good skill. She's gone down. No foul, says the referee, who was well placed, I have to say. Had a very good look at that.
Do you know what? I think because it's so close. I think because it's so close to the penalty box, she doesn't want to give it.
There's a yellow card against Colball there. The Sophia Colball card, I don't think can have too much to complain about. Well, it came after an incident where Carrie Jones perhaps felt that she could have had a free kick, or maybe even more than that, in and around that penalty area. This was the incident, Gwen Ann.
I really think because it's so close here, it was 50-50. That is 100% a free kick, and to be honest, in terms of positioning, that is possibly a penalty. But I think because of where it was, the referee was 100% not wanted to give it in such a important game. But then, good defence again by Wales, defending both from the back and the front to win the ball off Prasnikar. And they've started the second half with better pace, tempo to the game.
The Ukrainian referee was right in front of the incident there as Rowe drives it in once more. James. Jones. Good shots. Aiming for that top corner. You could see what she was trying to do.
She's not happy with herself there because she knows that this is a good opportunity. She's got herself in a great position here. Look, you've seen her check her shoulder as well, seeing what the options were. Good first touch, open up her body. Good strike through the laces, but just leaning back a little bit, and that's what we've seen it going over. Needs to hit the target, at least work Mensnick there.
Colball is free. Recently received that yellow card. She gets past Rowe. The recovery from Ingle was exemplary. And here goes Rachel Rowe on one of her mazy runs, where she's out of position, and it's Prasnikar now for Slovenia. No nonsense from Rhiannon Roberts. A good play from Carrie Jones, who's been a joy to watch so far. Not just in this game, but in this campaign. But what a fast-paced game. You cannot draw breath almost.
But what Wales need to do is manage that now, because we technically are in the driving seat in terms of, you know, the draw is good enough for Wales. What we don't want to see is Wales playing with a little bit erratic at times. So Rachel Rowe, we wanted to join forward, but in the right areas at the right times. Just that experience of knowing when.
Green missing out. Should remind viewers who've just joined us that a draw is enough for Wales to reach the playoffs. So if it stays like this, then it's Wales who will head in to that mini competition with a chance to qualify for the World Cup. Golob put in some tasty challenges during that first half.
Yeah, I think what we'll see as the game goes on now, I think we're already seeing is just Slovenia pushing their forward players even higher. They'll probably keep them up, you know, that they have to gamble.
Agres. Straight into the feet of Harding.
Quick to see Hannah Kane and Esther Morgan, you know, half-time, and I think Hannah Kane trying to get her back will be massive for Wales. You know, she's such a talented player, actually a part of the youth national sides of England with the likes of Ella Toone, Georgia Stanley, Alessia Russo, that went on to win the European Championship with England this summer. So it just goes to show, you know, her standing and how much she'll bring to this Welsh side when she's back fit.
And similarly, Esther Morgan, I think we've always been impressed when she's been put into that full-back position. Wise beyond her years as well.
Oh, that performance away to France, she was brilliant.
Good play from Colball. Evans, you shall not pass, says Gemma Evans. The need to be defensively disciplined, so key tonight. A clean sheet would be enough. But with wayward passes like that, it doesn't help, and Agres zips it over to Zver. So dangerous on that left-hand side. Early cross to Prasnikar. Rogan. Good play from James. And that's one for Green to chase. Well, with the exception of a late substitution, which saw Helen Ward come on in Friday night, Gemma Granger doesn't tend to change things up in terms of using her bench.
No, she doesn't. It'll be interesting to see, because I thought around 70 minutes Wales definitely needed fresh legs on Friday evening, and you know, as we've mentioned so many times, Friday, Wales were still in that pre-season phase.
Well, has kept it in here. Spots the run. Jones to Green. Comes back out to Rowe.
Oh, do you know what? Just again, that the right decision making in the final third. That pass was on to Katie Green half a second earlier.
Harding. Ingle getting forward. Well, it's not pretty. It's not classic stuff at the moment, but it doesn't have to be. That's the key. And a rare misplaced pass or touch from Ingle there. And Wales do have quality on that bench as well, by the way. Never mind Jess Fishlock, of course, but Josie Green, Ellie Woodham, Anna Philby, Fia Morgan, Alice Hughes, Charlie Escort, they've all played a part in this campaign in one way or another. Thumped forward by O'Sullivan.
So one area of the game Katie Green really needs to learn how to read across the line. I think of the 5th, 6th time she's been offside. It's just about being aware of your positioning and having a look across the line.
Some of the Wales players warming up. Green could be through here. Picks her feet, but couldn't get round Golob. And with so many women committed forward, it's Slovenia on the attack now. Prasnikar, there's a late challenge on Zver, which the referee has played the advantage on. doesn't really help Slovenia, is it? And the ball is played out. Well, that will kill some time for Wales. Zver on that left-hand side has arguably been Slovenia's best player.
Yeah, I think along with Krasnikar, she's done very well. Just see Hayley Ladd just timing the challenge, split second too late. No, but she was actually dragged across there because Wales are trying to get bodies forward, you know, to get up with Kaylee Green. As I said, she's been quite isolated now. Wales have dropped deeper in this second half a little bit, but they actually got caught out on the transition, then going the other way.
Well, Wales throw the ball back in. They should be obliged to give the possession back to Slovenia, which they do. Rhiannon Roberts. And Slovenia start again. You can feel the tension, Gwenan. We approach the hour mark, and this is probably the most important time of Gemma Granger's tenure as Welsh manager.
Yeah, it is tense, especially with the scoreline being like it is, but you've got to remember, so far, Laura O'Sullivan only had one actual save to make.
Goal kick, good play from Rachel Rowe. Let's go to the studio, shall we? And Katie Sherwood's part of our team this evening. Katie, how are you feeling? It is very tense, isn't it?
Yeah, we're definitely feeling tense in here, Simon. You know, Wales have definitely started with a lot more intent. We look more composed on the ball, we're cycling the ball better, but I still feel we're missing that spark. I would like to see more rotation and maybe have Carrie Jones in a more central position in front of Haz and Ingle. She just finds those pockets of space. She receives the ball on the half term, creating opportunities for herself, or she just brings other people into play or drawing in the foul. But defensively, I think Gemma Evans and Hayley Ladd, they've just been so compact, so disciplined. But yeah, we're just missing that little bit of spark.
Katie, as a central defender, you know, when you're playing up against one central striker like Krasnikar, how difficult is that to defend against? You know, when you haven't got someone directly up against you, but someone that's playing in between you constantly.
It makes you make a decision. Do you go and win the ball? Do you follow your player? But that's where you also rely on the likes of Sophie and Haz to have that communication with you. Can you let her drift into the midfield so they can pick it up and you can afford to drop off and pick up the second balls? So yeah, it does definitely put you in a position where you have to make those decisions.
Thanks, Katie. Well, as you can see from our pictures, well, there's Robert Page there, the Wales senior men's manager. I'm sure feeling as tense as we all are at the moment, but perhaps more worryingly, Gwen, and Kerry Holland seem to be hobbling a little bit. She is coming back on the pitch here.
Yeah, she looks ready to come back on. Again, I think, you know, just like Kaylee Green, so tenacious, she won't want to come off the pitch where she can help it.
Green leads the chase, pull back pass, and Green almost rewarded for that chase, and Wales screaming at the referee to get Kerry Holland back on the pitch here. Gemma Granger is barking at the referee on the sidelines, and eventually it does happen, and Gemma Granger not happy with that. Luckily for Wales, there was no lasting damage. Rachel Rowe with the throw for Granger's team. Good throw as well in towards Green, backing into Golob. Jones. Here's Rachel Rowe. Just took that one touch too many, maybe. This is where Slovenia can be dangerous. There's Zver overlapping his man. Terrific stuff. Rhiannon Roberts on her 50th cap, linking up with Harding. Early ball, looking for Green. James, another offside flag against Kaylee Green, unfortunately. Well, she shakes her head, but
She was 100% offside. I was watching him move, and obviously I played as a central forward. So what you need to do, that you just need to check your run. You need to look across. Okay, maybe it was closer than I thought, but you just need to run a little bit sideways first before you make the movement forwards, and that helps you to check your run then in terms of the timing. What can be difficult is when players take a little bit longer to cross than you want them to.
It's there. Cross into the middle, Rhiannon Roberts there again. Well, what an important game she's having on her 50th cap. But it is a corner, it's Prasnikar. And Wales have got to be disciplined here. Oh, you could feel the tension. Prasnikar, good delivery. And a good header from Gemma Evans, got real distance on it. Prasnikar again towards the back post, and luckily for Wales, Ehrman's header nowhere near O'Sullivan's goal.
I was just watching then, you know, just the positioning of the Welsh defence for that corner. And they're not zonal marking, but the ones that are meant to be man marking aren't actually going, or woman marking, aren't going straight up directly against their opposition, and they're giving the Slovenians then, you know, a couple of yards to get a run on them. It just surprises me that decision to defend corners in that way.
Ladd. Neat and tidy ball in towards Harding. Green, I think Harding was looking for the return pass there. Instead it's with Prasnikar and Zver. Up against Rhiannon Roberts. Needs to stay on her feet. Another terrific tackle from Rhiannon Roberts. Timed to perfection. You can't overstate that. No diving in, no lunging in. And it's that sort of discipline that Wales will need now for what? The next 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, she's been such a solid performer for Wales over the last couple of years. You made that position her own, as I said, since her debut really in 2015 against Austria. And look, she reads the game well as well. That's what I like. Her positioning is always very good.
And of course, celebrated promotion with Liverpool. Well, Wales happy for Slovenia to have the ball in this sort of position, but when you look at that left-hand side and where this ball is heading now, Zver at the top of your screen. This is where they come into danger, and
yeah, and Rogan as well for me, number 18. You know, she's playing in that central attacking midfield role, and she's just finding these pockets of space quite often now. Wales just need the, well, that's 100% handball.
We don't see that often, do you? A handball. Worked out in Wales' favour. Ball to O'Sullivan. Looking for Holland. Drop for Ingle. Holland has done well. Harry Jones is free to James's left, and here she is. James continuing her run. Second chance to cross over the head of Harding. Well, it was good work, good combined work by both Anne-Harriet James and Carrie Jones. As Hayley Ladd wins the ball back for Wales. And there's going to be a double change for the visitors. They need to win this game, they know that. Stella Kustrin and Anna Milovic. And Milovic scored 66 goals in the Slovenian league last season. So that shows her quality. And Kirsten coming on for Rogan. I mean, you can hardly blame Slovenia for making bold changes at this stage.
Oh no, they have to go for it, don't they? They have to chuck everything at it. Be interesting to see, you know, if they're like-for-like replacements or whether they're going to change the systems. Looks similar as of now, but well, that might change now in the next couple of minutes.
Kelly Green, Ingle, dispossessed, and here is Kirsten, the substitute. Well, we talk about this term game management, and Wales are not exactly doing that at the moment. O'Sullivan had given it away. Krasnikar tackled at the death by Ingle. It's the drive towards O'Sullivan from Konasek, straight at the goalkeeper. The need for cool heads is paramount.
It very much is. You know, Wales got back in numbers well. I should be, you know, Laura Silva would be fairly happy to have a, you know, this pretty central strike like that. It is difficult when the ball's bouncing off the surface quickly, but just need to eradicate, you know, these unforced errors, especially, you know, in those defensive areas.
Jones may go it alone. Carrie Jones! Good save. Well, this teenager is improving with every single game that she plays, and almost gave Wales the lead.
Oh, she's been Wales' brightest spark. She's trying to get the crowds going as well. As I said, love seeing her drive at defenders. You know, they back off her. I think they're weary of the run by Natasha Harding. They back off her and back off her, allow her that space to, you know, have a shot on goal. It was a good save.
She was at full stretch, wasn't she, Mersnick? Wales corner. The referee not happy with the placement of the ball by the corner arc. And Hannah James, well, she stopped from taking it early again because the referee has spotted a bit of pushing and shoving involving Rhiannon Roberts. A Welsh goal here could well seal a playoff spot. And it goes towards that back post. Oh, good save. Gemma Evans, Ingle with the shot over. Gemma Evans from point-blank range, almost giving Wales the lead. And you could argue, Gwenna, that perhaps she should have given Wales the lead.
Well, she got a goal in the opening game of the campaign here, and that's a gilt-edged chance there, you know. She just seems to actually back out there a little bit right at the end. I would just love to see her there try and head the ball back down into the ground. I've got to be honest, the positioning of Mersnick, she was close to the line. She was basically in the goal. But that is a gilt-edged chance that Gemma Evans will.
And the reaction from Gemma Granger, I've never seen such an animated response from Gemma Granger on the sidelines. Oh, the tension, you could cut it with a knife. It's there, takes a touch, needs to get round Ladd, gets a shot in. Milovic. Early cross, close towards O'Sullivan. Anywhere will do. And Kerry Holland plays it up towards Kaylee Green. And the margins in football from one end of the pitch, Gemma Evans so close to giving Wales the lead, and down the other end it's Slovenia who have the chance.
Yeah, again, there was just those, you know, unforced errors I was talking about. You've got to read the situation in the game. There's no need to go inside there where all the bodies were, where you're likely to lose possession. Try and play the width away from, you know, down the channels, away from all the players and the main threats for Slovenia.
Good header from Roberts. Got a sack towards Sver. Sver with a chance! This game is far from over.
Oh.
And to Slovenia's credit, they're really testing Wales.
Oh, this was close. I think Wales had to get closer. Rhiannon Roberts given too much space there to Sver. Player of that capability. You can see what she's trying to do. She's trying to just bend it into that far corner. Yeah, hi Nia, it's Gwen here. I'm just wondering, you know, you were a centre half. I played with you. You were quite a loud character at the back. Do you think Wales are missing the leadership of Jess Fishlock, being though Sophie Ingles quite a quiet leader?
What you mean to say is, Gwen, you remember me shouting at you non-stop for 90 minutes. No, we were just saying the same, Katie Sherwood and I, actually, that even positive communication, I think, is key for Wales in here. You know, it's an arena and an atmosphere that lots of these players aren't used to playing in, especially for Wales with this record crowd. And when Carrie Jones has been doing Carrie Jones things and jinxing and getting between players and getting shots, I'm not even seeing anybody get around her and really clap her. She was the one turning to the Canton stand and trying to get everyone around. So I definitely think that's what they're missing from Fishlock. We know her footballing credentials, but she does that. She can control a game. She knows when to calm it down, but she also knows when to turn it up. And, you know, Hayley Ladd, I think, is having a stormer at the back, but we're still one small moment from being behind in this game, I think. And more communication is needed from all the leaders on the pitch.
Thank you, Nia. Well, the crowd are playing their parts, and a couple of young lads there with bucket hats and Wales shirts, and hopefully a few Welsh stars of the future in that crowd as well.
Oh, for me, Simon, that's just amazing. You know, just to see youngsters here, male, female, just enjoying the environment here. You know, celebrating. Hopefully, Wales reaching a playoff place, and we see the development of the game.
Oh, that's a push on Green. And the referee will have to take action here. It was Agres. And a yellow card for both players, for Green and Agres. Well, we only saw the latter part of that incident, and that was Kaylee Green on the deck. But she has been booked. And when we talk about discipline at this stage, it's so important.
Yeah, it is. Wales just need to keep their cool, as Nia was saying then, you know, just in terms of that experience, communication with each other, and just cool heads, calm heads. Wales are in the driving seat in terms of the result at the moment.
Just to remind viewers joining us, as it stands, Wales will be going to the playoffs. A draw is enough. And a decision has gone Wales' way. Well, this was the incident, Gwenan. Kaylee Green booked for kicking the ball away, it seems. Agres booked for the push.
I think Wales need some fresh legs now. There's a couple of players, Hard in particular, quite quiet, seems quite tired. In the second, I just think, you know, a bit of pace for some options for Wales to try and hit in those channels, like Sophia Morgan, would be really important.
There's tension in the Cardiff air as Carrie Jones wrestled off the ball. Ball down by Ingle. Well, one thing we know about Gemma Granger, she won't make changes for change's sake, but maybe the time is now for fresh legs, as Fair charges towards the Welsh goal for the umpteenth time. Hayley Ladd is booked. Well, it was a desperate challenge from Hayley Ladd just to get the ball away from that Welsh penalty area. You can hear what the crowd think.
Yeah, she read it so well. She's been brilliant this evening, and then, yeah, just overstretching a little bit there. You know, the studs are down. You know, back a couple of years ago, that's a good challenge. You know, I like seeing challenges like that in the game, but I think the way that the game's developed, the way this refereed now, you know, as soon as you dangle your foot in there and you're overstretching, you're likely to get a yellow card.
Well, it's some distance away, this free kick. It would have to be special.
Well, I hope Wales will realise that they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players unmarked at the back post here, and they're not even looking body position.
It's fair, well worked. Krasnikar with the final effort. Comfortable for O'Sullivan in the end. You just keep hold of that ball, Laura.
Do you know, if you've seen the replay of that from a different angle, you can see 1, 2, 3, and there's a fourth one on the further side. Slovenian players completely unmarked. If Slovenia actually played the situation and looked up, they would have had well, they had a massive overload of the back post.
We're approaching the last 12 minutes plus additional time. 0-0 would be enough. 1-0 would be better. Here's Green. Jones. That'll do. Throw into Wales. And it does seem as though Slovenia will be making another change. Ball goes to Green. James. Rowe. Jones. Rowe continues a run. It's another throw-in. And here comes the change for Slovenia. Erman coming off. And Isabella Krizaj is coming on, and she races onto the field. That is the urgency that Slovenia have now. They must win this game.
Looks like another like-for-like change, left back for left back, but it'll be interesting to see, you know, just her positioning in a attacking sense for Slovenia.
Ruh-oh. The Welsh national anthem being sung to inspire this Welsh team. Jones just lost her footing, didn't recover.
Carrie Jones has been outstanding this evening. One area I'd love to see her develop is to trust and believe in her left foot a little bit more and be able to go down the line just a little bit more, because it mixes up as a defender when you're marking at someone that you know is always wanting to cut back on their right foot. You just position your body to point them towards their left foot continuously, because you know they're going to cut back. You can read it easier. She's very young, but an area of the game that I'd love to see her develop.
Heavy touch from James, but they talk about the red wall. Gemma Granger's team will have to be helped over the line by these passionate Welsh fans. Over 12,500 have filled this stadium. As the ball goes back to Mersnik. Well, it's at a knife edge now. Goal for Slovenia ends Wales' hopes. Wales can hold on, but it is Wales who head to the playoffs.
I can't cope, to be honest. I just wish this time would go quickly, but yeah, again, the crowd, I felt really emotional at the start of the game, seeing that, just the development, the interest, unbelievable. I'm building off such a successful summer for women's football. Hopefully it'll go from strength to strength and continue to have high crowds and improve the crowds.
James in space, Roberts takes a touch, still going, maybe worth a shot. Holland. James to Rowe. Jones. Well, what do Wales do from here? Do they seek this goal, or do they keep hold of it? Well, Rachel Rowe's going for it, only one thought in her mind. But we talk about this term of game management, Gwenan. What is Wales and Gemma Granger's approach from here on in?
Just again, as I've mentioned, just play in the right areas. You know, when the opportunity arises, like it has for Rachel Rowe there, and she's got great feet to go in. You know, because attack is the best form of defence. So obviously, you know, you get the ball higher at the pitch, then it's further away from the goal. You're not likely to concede. However, with so much riding on it, you can't afford to commit so many bodies forward now, knowing that, you know, that one goal would seal it for Slovenia.
I don't think Gwennan Harris or any of these Welsh fans would celebrate a 0-0 draw like this, like ever before. Kurasek towards Agres. Zver. James with the tackle, which looked like a foul. The referee didn't penalise her. And Slovenia know that they need a goal. As things stand, Wales are going through. Green, who has run her socks off, heading back towards the goalkeeper Mersnik. But still, Gemma Granger resisting the temptation to bring on fresh legs.
Yeah, and that's why you don't want to sit back too deep. You know, you want to press players for. Obviously, Wales have gone deeper. They're playing the channels, but then when it was on to go and press higher, like they have there, Kaylee Green's gone forward. Natasha Harding has worked hard to get up there and support that, and has forced the error. And look at the difference now. Wales have won possession of the ball back in a high area of the pitch, away from their own goal.
Well, Natasha Harding has left the ball for.
I think Wales could possibly.
Roberts to take. Sorry, Gwenanne.
I just saw a little bit of movement on the Welsh bench. I think they actually just go in for another warm-up. Elise Hughes and Fio Morgan.
Well, what must be going through Gemma Granger's head at the moment? As Roberts hasn't got too many options here on the throw. Harding. Maybe a bit too early for the corner just yet. But Wales happy just to keep the ball in that area. They've won the corner. That will do. Good play from Kaylee Green, who's getting this crowd going.
Yeah, do you know, the difference, you know, that's going to make. Wales haven't seen a crowd, you know, anywhere near. I think it's over double of the last record. And to have, you know, 12,700, you know, cheering you on like that, the difference it makes, just that little boost of energy when you're feeling a little bit tired. Brilliant to see.
Well, James and Harding standing by the ball here. The big question is, do you stick or twist? Do you keep over by that corner flag, or do you go for this goal? Well, James is happy to put this into the penalty area here.
Just really that it's 2 against 2 at the back.
You've got to be careful of any Slovenian counter-attack. In it goes towards Ingle. Goal kick. 5 minutes to go.
I think these clocks are lying because they seem to be going slower and slower to me, but I think Wales just got in each other's way there. Gemma Evans, Sophie Ingle couldn't quite get the connection that they wanted.
I think the clock's going backwards for us. Are we in for an historic night? Good play from Holland. Battled hard. And went in on the 50-50. She had every right to contest the ball, Kerry Holland, but you fear that she may have come out worse.
Yeah, it was actually a heavy touch because of a foul on her. I thought the referee might pull it back for that foul, and then both of them seem to be, especially Kerry Holland, she seems to be in a lot of discomfort. So I thought there was a foul there, heavy touch then, and ooh, that's a pretty late challenge.
Well, Golob has taken the brunt of that, and she's in pain as well.
The commitment of both players there to win the challenge. It might actually be a good thing for Wales now. 5 minutes ago, just regrouped, a couple of messages being given across by the coaching staff.
Well, there is going to be a change. And it is going to be Fio Morgan, Gwennan, who's coming on.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. To see her coming on. And she's done well when she's come on previously. She's made a real impact for Wales. She's got good pace, she's direct, she works hard as well. It's interesting for me to see actually who it is. The decision might be made for itself now with Kerry Holland.
Well, coming off here, Kerry Holland and Fio Morgan is the one coming on. Llandailo born for Bristol City. And I think it will be, well, the change hasn't been made just yet. I think the indication was that maybe Kaylee Green was coming off, or I suppose that depends on the fitness of Kerry Holland, who does appear that she is coming on again. Well, Holland is back on, and maybe this will prompt the change for Wales. Yeah, Thea Morgan getting ready. And what will she bring, Gwenan, in these key few moments now?
Yeah, like I said just a couple of minutes ago, you know, just the pace, directfulness, power that she brings, but you know, she works hard in defence, and she'll have to as well, because I think Wales will get penned back a little bit now in these last 5 minutes.
Oh, ball in towards O'Sullivan, well read, and took a bit of an injury as well, and I think has won the free kick, but well read by Laura O'Sullivan, who had to be firm in her decision making there.
Well read, but a massive warning sign again. Wales just watching the ball. They're not aware of their players, not passing players that are running off their back shoulders. They have to be alert and communicating.
Kelly Green, who has scored 5 goals during this qualifying campaign, is coming off and receiving warm applause from members of the Red Wall.
Oh, she's worked tirelessly this evening, and the amount of work she's done, offering herself, running into those channels, you know, it's been brilliant. And to be fair, I think even, you know, up till the last minute, she's not looked particularly fatigued.
Well, it is that time, with a bit of a stoppage here, Gwenan, that I am going to ask you for your player of the match.
Yeah, I hope that this player will be on the team that makes history by the end of the game. And I think, you know, just turned 19, she's been outstanding. I mentioned before the game to a couple of colleagues, I think she's going to have a huge game this evening. To see her so confident, direct, and youngest player on the pitch for Wales, but being the one that's really drove them up the forwards this evening.
Harry Jones, your player of the match. And we're into the last 30 seconds of the 90.
I do think special mentions to the likes of Hayley Ladd. You know, Gemma Evans has played well, but Hayley Ladd has played particularly well in centre-half.
Thea Morgan is racing through. Merslick did well.
Just a glimpse of that speed on this Simon that I was talking about.
Our eyes will be fixed on that additional time board. In the next 5 seconds, we will know how much added time there will be. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes until history. 5 minutes for Wales to reach the playoffs and a stab at the World Cup next year. James in space. Can they finish on a high? Jones takes on 1, takes on 2, and heading for the corner flag, and you cannot blame her. Goal kick, not a corner.
Obviously, you know, you'd love to see a Welsh win. The crowd would love to see a Welsh win. But a 19-year-old, you know, making the decision, taking it upon herself to go to the corner and try and bide a bit of time, allowing Wales to get back into shape.
There's still time for Slovenia. They're pouring players forward. Good header from Gemma Evans. Falls to Roberts. Harry Jones. Late challenge on her by Milovic. Roberts getting in the way of Ingle. James gives the ball away. And Ingle happy just to put the ball in no man's land.
Yeah, I think Wales just need to compose themselves a bit as well. And obviously there's so much riding on the line, but you know, they're good enough to just, you know, control the ball, find the pass, you know, or find that pocket down the channels, which obviously they'll be looking to work out now, gain that territory. No need to over panic in those midfield areas.
James to Morgan. Away by Golob. Morgan, she's got space. Just couldn't take it round the last defender, Agres. Harding, who I think is eyeing that corner flag. Well, it's been a hard-fought night. Hasn't been the most vintage of Welsh performances, but Has Gemma Granger's team done enough? That is the big question now. Into the last 2 minutes at least. Ladd with a header away. Gemma Evans takes it upon herself to head it up to halfway. One last effort needed for Wales now. Good play from Roberts, who's done that all evening in fairness. Made the right decisions.
Yeah.
Wales will be in no hurry to take
what
this
she does
through.
well there as well, she doesn't actually give away the foul. She puts the Slovenian player, I think it's Kasovic, under pressure, but without giving away, you know, the foul there, and forcing the error. And then Sophie Ingle, good positioning, distance, just doubling up to help her.
The draw for the playoffs is on Friday, by the way. Let's not tempt fate. Wales are nearly there. Roberts with the throw. Ingle has gone short. Down the line to Harding. Play from Holland. She wins the throw. It's been a monumental effort in many ways. 10 out of 10 for drive and determination. Morgan, James, Jones, Carrie Jones, took a heavy touch, Ingle with the recovery. Wales don't want to commit too many players forward. Under a minute to go. And Rhiannon Roberts, once again, an outstanding performance on her 50th appearance, and she's going down that touchline, just eating away the seconds.
Yeah, and again, you know, just the experience, the composure.
Shinola to get in a crossing, corner flag.
To win it back in the first place and then not give away the foul, and then just good play, just sensing where the space is.
And gets the throw in. I think Gemma Granger's just asking the fourth official how long. 10 seconds to go. Surely Wales have done enough.
One thing I would say is with the draw, obviously they're going to get the playoff, they're probably going to be ranked one of the lowest now that goes through because of the draw, the 1 point. But however, making history this evening was the most important thing, point or 3 points.
Well, let's get there first. Yes, it's over! The glass ceiling is breaking. These Welsh women are making history. Bring on the playoffs. And who knows, bring on the World Cup as well.
Oh, honestly, I find it really hard to just sum up emotions. Creating history this evening, you know, reaching this playoffs. We've never been in this situation before. It's been a hard group, a hard game this evening. Slovenia's, we know, a good side. They've done a quarter or a half of the job by getting to the playoffs. Case now is, can Wales be more ruthless when they get to the playoffs and take those chances? Because obviously this is a great achievement, but we don't want to just settle with being in the playoffs. They want to take that next step and get to the World Cup finals.
Wales are in the playoffs, and look at what it means to fans and players alike. Well, tears for Slovenia, they played their part, but it's Wales who celebrate, and Gemma Granger, I've never seen her so animated and so emotional. Wales go through to the World Cup playoffs, and the draw on Friday will be very, very interesting. One to look forward to, but it's Wales who celebrate. Wales go through to those playoffs. They've done enough. Wales 0, Slovenia 0, Wales are through.
Oh, what a nervy 90 minutes, a frantic game, but Wales have done it. They are in the history books. And just look at that crowd, nearly 13,000 here this evening to witness this historic game. And look at the faces of those players. Gwennan Harris was finding it there difficult to sum up the emotions. Katie, can you?
It's really difficult. It's hard to not get emotional yourself, just looking around your stadium, seeing how much it means to the players, the staff. You know, this is what we've set out to do for this campaign. This is why Gemma Granger became manager of this team, because she wants to get this team to major tournaments and multiple tournaments, and this is just the beginning.
David Iwan's Yma o Hyd is echoing around the stadium. It's historic, Nia. How are you feeling right now?
Honestly, really emotional. I just never thought that this would happen in our country. I really didn't. You know, when I was playing, we used to play at Kevin Druids. It was only my mum and dad that were watching. The fact that I was stuck in traffic trying to get into the stadium tonight, I love it. There's 12,000 people here and it's only going to improve. It's David Iwan, Zombie Nation before we started, the platform that these girls have now, and it's the platform that they deserve. I'm gutted that Jessica Fishlock wasn't on the pitch tonight because she's seen it all. Look at these scenes. This is honestly, we're witnessing history, and I know we're only in the playoffs, I know we're not at the World Cup yet, but we have to celebrate these moments and we have to soak it up because it has been such a long time coming.
It feels like a real game-changing moment for the women's game here in Wales. We've had a great summer for women's football, but this feels like a movement, doesn't it? Look, she's in tears, that little girl, but she might be inspired now to play football in the future, something that many haven't had the opportunity to do in the past.
Yeah, you know, this whole campaign we've heard for us, for them, for her, it's about this team, but it's also about the next generation, inspiring them. These children start school tomorrow and they're here at the Cardiff City Stadium to support the women's team. You know, it's really special.
It's that future as well that, you know, the brand is built on for us, for them, for her, but there's also people like Laura McAllister, Professor Laura McAllister up there watching, probably with tears in her eyes, because a year before Angharad James, Centurion Tonight, was even born in 1993, she was one of a few players banging on the door of the FAW, lobbying for an official women's team. Look how far we've come.
Jess Fishlock was considering retirement a few seasons ago because she never thought this moment would happen.
You know, Jess has said, you know, she gave all of her medals and all her achievements away to get to a major tournament. So, you know, it's just an incredible evening for these players, for the previous generations, and something special is really building.
Gemma Granger is behind us. I'm going to bring her in. Gemma.
Hello.
It's lovely to see you.
First
of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you feeling right now?
I couldn't be prouder of the players. I think they absolutely deserve that tonight, so I'm proud and I'm really pleased for them.
We don't see much emotion from you as a manager. You talk about it as game 9, game 10. You're very businesslike. But can we see some emotion from you now? Surely seeing this stadium with 13,000 fans here, when you consider the first game you had, what, nearly 2,000, surely now you must know what you've done to women's football here in Wales.
Yeah, I think the players need to take all the credit for it. The 12,000 supporters here tonight were behind us. They were wanting us to do well, and the players are fed off that, and we know that. We felt it, and now we want even more.
You were a woman with a plan when you came into this job. You looked at the schedule of games. The planning was meticulous. People might not know this at home. It's not about the 90 minutes that we see on the pitch. There's so much more that goes into a campaign like this.
Yeah, absolutely. We, you know, we do talk about it game by game. So it's game 11 now. Game 11 and game 12.
Game 11, game 12. You're thinking about that draw already on Friday?
Yeah, I haven't until this moment, but now we can, and we know we've got game 11 and 12, so all that planning and preparation will go into those games.
Do you think you can take that final step and make it to a World Cup? Obviously, playoffs, historic, but there's one other step I know you'd love to take.
I think as a team, we have an identity. We built on foundations here. We knew out of possession we were strong. I think tonight you've seen our out of possession identity and our in possession identity, and that's what we want to keep building on.
I don't want to embarrass you, but I'm just going to show you your reaction on the final whistle. If you have a little look at this monitor, this is the final whistle.
There's that emotion you've been looking for.
We saw Spider-Man a bit earlier on, actually, on the touchline. How difficult has it been, though? Obviously, you're giving all the credit to the players, which is part of why Wales has fallen in love with you and this team. But But actually, how difficult has it been taking over since Jane Ludlow?
I think Jane left some fantastic foundations. The determination, the out possession qualities this team had, and for us we wanted to build on that. So what we've done is build on that. We've got better out of possession, but in possession we've got some fantastic players, and we want to keep giving them the belief. And tonight they will take that next step, and we'll keep building on it. It's going to take time, but what we will do is we'll work hard, we'll plan hard to make sure they can be as successful as they can.
You've talked a lot about in this campaign about the team's mentality. Do you think that's been a big part of the success?
Yeah, we went out to win this game today. We knew we needed a draw, but we weren't playing for a draw, and that is our mentality. It was Slovenia today, but actually we're preparing for wanting to be in major tournaments. So to pull off results like we do today, that's what tournament teams do, and that's what we want to do.
Well, Gemma, look, I don't know how much you slept last night, but hopefully you will sleep tonight. A few celebrations maybe along the way, I wouldn't blame you. But happy planning, good luck with all the planning now, and good luck on Friday. We will be watching to see how those playoffs pan out for you. Thank you very much. I'll let you go and celebrate.
Thank you, Doc and Val. Thank you.
Diolch, Gemma. We'll let you go and celebrate with the rest of the team. And as Gemma goes to celebrate with the rest of the squad, who are still out there looking at the fans, the red wall, let's go and join Laura, who has the player of the match with her, Carrie Jones.
Carrie, job done, history made. Can you put into words how this feels?
I honestly can't put into words, you know, it's the best day ever. Like, it means so much to put this shirt on. Girls fought so hard out there. I'm so proud of everyone, not even just the people on the pitch, the people on the bench, the staff in the back. You know, everyone's put in a massive shift to get us to this point, and I'm like unbelievably proud and, you know, so proud right now.
You speak so eloquently for someone who's just 19 years old. Your birthday over the weekend, this is quite the birthday present.
Yeah, you know, it was the best. To score my first goal on Friday, that was the best, and then this just tops it all off. Like, it's the best birthday ever, without a doubt.
Record crowd behind us. Who are you waving to?
I know, I think not only the draw today that gets us to the playoffs, but I think the crowd and everyone here today, it's a massive win for football in Wales, for women's football.
Player of the match tonight as well, congratulations. It was nervy to watch. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, you know, getting called up to start was so nerve-wracking, but I know I just prepared properly, did everything I could, and, you know, trusted my abilities to do what I could do, and that's what everyone does, and that's what we did, and it managed to get us to the next round.
How special a group of players is this squad?
Unreal. I can't put into words how special they all are. You know, every single person, like I said, from the starting 11 to the players on the bench to the players that are in the stands, everyone that's been in here in camp, training players that have come in and come out, everyone deserves a massive pat on the back, because it's not just the starting 11, it's every single person.
You're so composed, but how are you going to celebrate tonight?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm going to go and see my family. I haven't seen them for a while. So I'm going to go and see them, give them a massive hug, and I'm just going to go and celebrate with the team. But there's still more to go.
Carrie, thank you very much. Enjoy those celebrations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, she's only just turned 19. She's just legal to drink, but hopefully they won't go over the top this evening. Gwennon Harris has joined us. She's ran down from commentary. Let's talk about Carrie Jones then. What a performance once again from her.
Oh, do you know what? She's only just turned 19, and she showed a performance beyond her years this evening. She's high-fiving over now. Honestly, she's just so direct, you know. I love how she plays the game. She's got no fear. She wants to get on the half turn. She wants to take players on. So many occasions we've seen here, and that's what you want to get Carrie Jones in situations like this, where she's one-on-one running at defenders. She was 100% Wales' most lively player this evening, and I thought she carried us, excuse the pun, into some, some really dangerous situations. Then even at the end, the experience she showed to carry the ball into the corner as well.
And this was a huge stage for her, Katie. You know, only 14 years old. 14 caps even, sorry.
It is, but she's so composed on the pitch and off the pitch. She's, like she said, she prepared right for the game, and she was ready. She believes in her ability, but she is a coach's dream. She's so direct and so confident to get at players, but it's not all what she does in possession, it's how hard she works out to possession.
Yeah, it's all about the mindset. Yes, we've seen the skills. Her balance on the ball is better than I've ever seen in a Wales shirt, I'll be honest, when she's running with it. But actually, her mindset to keep taking on defenders, she doesn't beat them every time, but the willingness to get it again, give me the ball again, give me the ball again, I'll try it time and time again. As a defender, there's nothing worse, honestly. But that last clip there that she was highlighted, the work rate, at one point towards the end of that game, she's a young player, the engine is not fully what it will be, She was one of the highest players up the pitch, and she tracked all the way back into the central midfield area for her team. That is what you need if you want to be an international player, and that is what Wales are now building on going into these playoffs.
I think the players are going to be here till about 12 o'clock signing all those bucket hats and all those flags and hats. Those kids, they look ecstatic, don't they? Gwen, and you said you wouldn't mind seeing Carrie work a bit on her left foot.
Yeah, I just, look, she's such a good player for her age, but at times she's over dominant on her right foot, and she does it well. She cuts back in, as Nia said, the balance, the poise she's got. But in terms of as a defender coming up against a player, it can be predictable when you know, so you know how to adjust your body. If she works on carrying down the left-hand side a little bit more, I think she just adds so much more to her game.
Let's get some more reaction. Laura, who have you got?
Rhiannon Roberts is with me now. 50 caps for you today, and what an occasion for it.
Yeah, it was a tough game. Yeah, we just knew what we needed out of the game, and obviously we've come here to win. But we knew what strengths they had, how to nullify them, and we've executed the game plan at the end of the day, so we'll take that point, and obviously that progresses us further, so we're really happy.
This group expects to be competitive at this level. You're a step closer now to your first major tournament finals. Can you sum up how that feels?
I mean, I think you can probably tell by the celebrations. Everyone's just absolutely buzzing. We know that we've got it in this group. We know that we should be competing for in tournaments. And qualifying tournaments, so yeah, it's just a step closer, and yeah, we go game by game now, and hopefully we can progress and get ourselves to a major tournament.
A record crowd tonight. It feels like a real moment for women's football in general at the moment. Do you have a message for those fans?
Oh my days, the crowd are absolutely unreal. Like, every time we went past the halfway line, they were roaring us on, and yeah, they were really, really important for us today. They got us over the line, and yeah, we can't thank them enough. The Red Wall's been absolutely outstanding all campaign, and it's lovely to see how much it's grown. And obviously, we've absolutely smashed the record today. And filling a stadium like this, it's just unbelievable, and it just shows that pride we have in Wales. And when you're listening to the national anthem at the start of games, it's unbelievable, to be honest.
And Cara James also on 100 caps as well. How special a moment is that for her?
She's an unbelievable player. She's an unbelievable person, in fact. I can't believe how many caps she's got at such a young age. She goes under the radar a little bit, I think, in my opinion, has. But again, she's had a cracking game today, and yeah, probably 100 more for her.
Rhiannon, enjoy those celebrations.
Thank
you
you.
deserve them.
Thank you very much.
Well, Rhiannon Roberts, they're just praising Angharad James, who joins us in studio now. Angharad, go on, sum up the feelings. It's hugs all round here in studio now.
Sweaty ones.
It's surreal. It's a real feeling to be out here playing in front of all these fans. Everyone came out tonight, and they were our 12th player, and they got us through. And yeah, can't be more proud of the group. It's what we deserve. We've worked so hard over the last 12 months to get to where we are today, and yeah, to do it in front of this crowd was an unbelievable achievement, and yeah, on to the next one.
And on a personal note, the youngest centurion Wales have. I know you don't want to make it all about you, but it must be quite special to do this on your 100th appearance.
Yeah, it's a very special moment. Before the game, I couldn't think about it too much. The main focus was on the game, getting the point that we needed. Now I'll enjoy the time with my teammates, with my family, and you know, it's a great achievement for me. All these players here inspired me, so to be here with them now is a dream, and yeah, I can't thank them enough for paving the way for us girls to be on that stage tonight.
What you won't know, by the way, is that your dad was with us at half-time here in the studio. He was fantastic, I have to say, a real character. He was worried that he was going to start blubbing. Do you think he's crying up in the stands there somewhere?
Yeah, probably. I haven't seen him yet. But yeah, I hope he didn't embarrass me too much. He's got a lot to say sometimes, so I don't know what he said,
actually. He was like, I wish he'd score some more goals.
Yeah.
No, but we were saying how much your game has developed from when you were first involved as sort of that holding midfielder to a proper box-to-box defender now. Is that something you've worked on consciously?
Yeah, it is. Defensively, I know that, you know, I put a shift in, I give 100% every time I play. It was something I wanted to add to my game. I wanted to be a bit more creative, pass forward, break lines a little bit more, something I've been working with Tomo here, who's our assistant coach, a lot. Yeah, and I just want to improve. I want to keep learning. I'm only 28, so I've still got a lot to give, and hopefully 100 more caps to come.
Yeah, man. What would you say to young girls who are, like you made the big move to Arsenal when you were young? What advice would you give to young girls?
I think just to follow your dream. It was a dream of mine to be a professional footballer. Step outside your comfort zone and just go with it. And, you know, to have the support of my family, my friends. But being outside your comfort zone definitely, you know, gives you that extra yard. And I never looked back since, and yeah, it's a proud moment for me and my family, and you know, this is for them tonight because they supported me from day one, and I can't thank them enough.
You talk about developing your game. How much has Gemma Granger helped you in that, in terms of giving you more of a licence to be in those areas?
Yeah, she's given us all a lot of confidence. That's something that as soon as she came into camp, she wanted us to believe in the group. And you can see the belief out there today. And that's something we've developed as a team, and we're going to keep developing. You know, we step on the pitch now and we expected to win and we want to win. So hopefully, you know, there's a lot more to come.
And Harald, if you look at the screen, look at these scenes here now. Tash Harding with little babies. You're real celebrities now. You're not going to be able to go shopping tomorrow, are you?
I know. Do you know what the nice thing is? That we're inspiring the next generation, and that's something that the group really wanted to do and achieve. And see how many little girls are out here tonight. Hopefully one day this will be the stage for them, and you know, it'll be a full crowd maybe in 10, 20 years time. So yeah, hopefully they keep believing, we keep inspiring these girls, and yeah, it's just a joy to see how football, Welsh women's football, has grown in this country.
When do you start thinking of the playoffs? Now or tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning. I think we'll enjoy tonight. Hopefully these three will too, because they've been on this journey with us. And yeah, so thank you for the three of you for inspiring us and being part of this journey.
We've got to go home to bed. We're old now, Angharad.
Angharad, we're going to let you go and join the rest of your squad. Congratulations.
Yes.
Not only on getting to the playoffs, but on a personal note to you as well. Thank you very much. There we go. Right then, let's go and join Laura. She's got some company.
I have Sophie Ingle. What a moment. A step closer to your first major tournament. How does it feel to captain this side?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I can't put it into words. I think we dug deep. They're a great team, and you know, we drew with them away from home. They're a physical team. They keep battling till the end, and we dug deep, and I don't know how we didn't score, to be honest. But yeah, we got the result we needed.
It was really nervy to watch. Did it feel nervy out there? At any point, did you think this might not go our way?
No, not really. I thought we were compact at times. We did get a bit spread when they were transitioning on us, but we defended great in the final third. I thought our back line were phenomenal against their front three, because they were very good players.
Surely you're going to have some pretty decent celebrations tonight. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I think we'll go into the lounge. We'll see our family and friends, which is nice. There's a lot of them that's come out, and thank you to all the fans that have come. I think it was over 12,000, and it's just amazing that they've come here tonight and reached a record again.
It's an incredible record. They didn't stop singing the entire time. How much of a boost does that give you?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to goal for them mainly, because they were constant from the start to finish. They were cheering in the warm-up, and we can't thank them enough. A lot of us have been here for 10 plus years, and we've seen the fan base grow and grow and grow, and I'm just so happy that it's got to this stage that our younger girls can experience this, you know, on their senior camps now.
Sophie, thank you so much. Enjoy those celebrations. You really do deserve them. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sophie Ingle, not the only one celebrating. Look what we have here in studio. Girls, you are ready for New Zealand. Come on, but we've got playoffs first.
Yeah, if it's good enough for Ashley Williams on Sky, it's good enough for us. But it does clash my jacket a bit. But yeah, I think we will look at that tomorrow, like Angharad said. I do really feel like tonight, actually, for everybody, for the people that have played before for Wales that are up in the stands watching this, and for the future generation, of which, by the way, girls and boys are in that crowd. It's jam-packed full of different ages. It's awesome. I think we really need to celebrate and enjoy tonight.
Before we leave you, we've got about 2 minutes, but I just want to show you once again this historic table. Have a little look at it. Doesn't it look good? Wales, well, they do finish second after 10 games. They are runners-up in Group I, and they are in those playoffs. What a historic table that is. Savour it, because it is pretty special. And another one who will savour this today, Gemma Granger. It's been quite the campaign, but she's made it. The plan has worked. Right then, quickly, we've got about a minute left. Katie, just sum up the whole campaign for us.
Emphatic, emotional, incredible, game-changing.
Oh, nice. I like it. Gwenan, follow that.
Historic.
There we are. Nia.
And Hergoyle.
And Hergoyle. I love it. Playoffs, will you be watching that draw on Friday? You'll probably be in school, Gwenan. Are you going to sort of mitch your class?
Well, we had 550 here watching, so I'm sure they'll be interested. Maybe we'll put it on the live for them to see. No, obviously, you know, the draw isn't going to help us in terms of the rankings, but just to be in that situation, as you said, so historic, such a special achievement.
Yeah, we are 2 or 3 games away from a World Cup, Katie. That's special.
So special. Like Gwen said, it's historic, and we're ready for it.
And you know what's good as well? They didn't play well Friday and they won, and they didn't play well tonight and they got through it, and that's a mark of a really promising team.
Well, look, it has been quite the campaign, girls. Thank you very much. I'll let you go and party in your bucket hats. It has been quite the campaign. It has been a historic campaign. Wales, they've done it. They're in those playoffs. And you don't want to miss that draw on Friday. We will see you on the 6th of October. Nos da. Good night.
It's got the feeling of one of those big nights. We know she can take on players. Carrie Jones as Roberts split into Jones. James. Carrie Jones. In it goes towards that back post. Good save. The glass ceiling.